on Cronkite News, we'll take a look at two best friends and how their relationship translates on and off the field.
Plus, former NBA player turned coach of the Phoenix Suns Summer League plans to change the culture of Phoenix basketball.
And with temperatures rising, bees are becoming more aggressive. How to be safe. Good evening and welcome to Cronkite News. I'm Milexa Cardona.
And I'm Patrick Renault. Thank you for joining us. Major League Baseball has hit the All-Star break, and that officially marks the halfway point of the season, starting with tonight's Home Run Derby.
Yes, the Diamondbacks were irked that they didn't get a hitter into the Derby. It's just another thing to add to the list going wrong for the team. Brandon Cadiz joins us from the touchscreen with more on the state of the Snakes.
At the All-Star break, the Arizona Diamondbacks sit at 47-50, trailing the final NL wildcard spot by 5.5 games. Injuries have crushed the pitching staff, with offseason acquisition Corbin Burnes being out for the season with Tommy John surgery, while relievers Justin Martinez and A.J. Puck are also out for the year. To make matters worse, the bullpen ERA is 4.94, fourth worst in the league. Zach Gallen, who has been a reliable starter in past seasons, has boasted a career-worst 5.40 ERA so far. Arizona has struggled to finish games this season, 11-19 in one-run games, 3-7 in extra inning games, and on defense, they're 27th in defensive runs, which does not make for a winning formula. ArizonaSports.com's Alex Weiner says Arizona would be in a playoff hunt had those games gone the other way.
Yeah, that's kind of part of the perplexing part of the season, is where it feels like they are better than their record suggests, but they just haven't been able to pull out a lot of these closer games. And that's the difference. The Giants and the Padres both have good records in one-run games, and look where they are in the standings.
The trade deadline is fast approaching, and speculation surrounds Eugenio Suarez, Josh Naylor, Merrill Kelly, and Zach Gallen, who are all free agents after this season. And some league executives believe Arizona has no choice but to sell. Weiner did tell me that the 12-game stretch before the trade deadline would be crucial to what the team does at the deadline. But if it was tomorrow, now that's a different story.
If the trade deadline were tomorrow, it would be a very, very difficult ask to ask this team to buy at this point, just because not only are they 5.5 games out, but you've got to jump 4 other teams in order to get to that third wild card spot.
We'll see if they finally put it all together, or will time run out and force management to sell. At the Google touchscreen, Brandon Cadiz, Cronkite News.
Arizona returns for a 6-game homestand on July 18th, kicking things off with a matchup against the Cardinals, followed by the Astros.
A Valley-based sports club is sending more than a dozen athletes to USA Track and Field Nationals this month, many of them training year-round under a familiar face in Arizona high school sports. The Next Level Athletics Club has grown into a multi-sport program combining track and flag football to train youth athletes year-round. It's led by Muhammad Oliver, a former NFL player, decathlete, and the current head coach for Canyon View High School Track and Field. The program includes more than 50 athletes annually, and this season, 31 qualified for regionals and 21 are moving to nationals, including a girls 4x100-meter relay team ranked 3rd in the nation.
Well, most of our kids that end up going as far as regionals and nationals are pretty dedicated athletes. A lot of them are with us year-round for flag football and for track. We have a few that are track only, so they get started in November doing strength and conditioning while the flag football teams are still going.
The athletes will compete at nationals later this month in Georgia. Coaches say year-round training and multi-sport involvement have helped the team stay competitive at the highest level.
To college football, where the camaraderie of teammates can make or break your season, ASU quarterback Sam Leavitt and wide receiver Jordyn Tyson are pushing each other to their limits to help the team reach its goals.
Emily Paulson has the details on a bond like no other.
Teammates' chemistry can be seen through the play on the field, but relationships take time to develop off the field and well before the season even begins. For ASU quarterback Sam Leavitt, it's in the activities outside of football where the real trust is built, especially with wide receiver Jordyn Tyson.
That's my guys, one of my best friends, so just being around him all the time, competing in everything we do, video games, pool, ping pong, you name it, we're going to compete in it. So you add that on top of him becoming a better person, making me go to church with him and, vice versa.
To the outside, it may look like Leavitt and Tyson are just teammates, but the bond is deeper. They like to compete both on and off the field, in golf, and all aspects of life. For Tyson, their friendship stems from a childhood of brotherhood.
He had brothers growing up, I had brothers growing up, so it's kind of that little deal. So now we just brothers at college, I guess, so just competing and everything.
But it's more than just two teammates' bonds that leads a team's success. Coach Kenny Dillingham understands that it comes down to everyone's belief in each other.
That's why football is so great. It's the ultimate definition of you pour into other people, and those other people lift you up more higher than you could ever do by yourself. And I think that's the message to our football team this year.
From the hangouts off the field to the wins on the field, ASU's brightest stars are making memories that will last them a lifetime. In Frisco, Texas, Emily Paulson, Cronkite News.
Leavitt and Tyson were selected to the Big 12 preseason all-conference team and the second-team FBS All-America team heading into this season.
And Colorado coach Deion Sanders had high praise for ASU's Kenny Dillingham. Coach Prime emphasized the importance of culture and connection in college football. While expectations are high for Sanders heading into the second season in the Big 12, he made it clear that he's paying attention to what other programs are building around the conference as well.
I'm proud of Coach Dillingham and what his relationship with those kids and those young men. And I know some of them personally, that he is who he says he is, and I'm proud of him.
Coming up next, we have an exclusive interview with Phoenix Mercury center Kalani Brown.
Talks, even in the conversation for that, but it's the fact that we showed up and we're here, and I feel like that's always been a goal.
After the break, more on Kalani and her team's recent success.
Plus, a major cool down in temperatures is headed our way. Find out how low it will go when we return.
You meet so many new people who are on different communities, and when you do that, you're able to network not only, but also get to engage, talk to people, and make life friends.
I think that definitely surprised me, the community that I would find, because I wasn't really expecting it.
Freedom.
Friendly. Nice. I'd say cozy.
This is where Cronkite can be creative.
Nicole with a nice drive, screen up high.
And that was the Mercury last week, putting pressure on the Western Conference leaders, the Minnesota Lynx. The Mercury won that game 79-71. Welcome back to Cronkite News. I'm Milexa Cardona.
And I'm Patrick Renault. The Phoenix Mercury are defying the odds and are off to a great season. We're joined in the studio by Cronkite News reporter Eve McFarland. And Eve, this team has been defying the odds this season.
That's right. No one expected this team to be doing so well following numerous injuries and trades the team had to tackle. I had the chance to sit down with Phoenix Mercury player Kalani Brown to talk about how well the team's playing, their dynamic, and the famous tunnel walks.
Kalani Brown, thank you for joining us. Let's talk about the success of the team so far. Pretty much at the beginning of the season, there were some doubts and concerns that people had because it was uncertain with Diana Taurasi and Brittany Griner leaving. How have you guys done it so far?
Honestly, the motto for us has been us against everybody. I mean, I knew we were underdogs coming into that, but we hang our hat on teamwork and defense, and I think that shows on both ends of the floor. Like, we play for each other. There are no egos, there's no me, there's only we. And I know a lot of teams say that, and I've been a part of a lot of teams, but none like this.
Best start since 2014, and that year is when Mercury won the championship. Is that the goal for this season?
That's absolutely the goal. And, it doesn't matter if we weren't in the talks, even in the conversation for that, but it's the fact that we showed up and we're here, and I feel like that's always been a goal.
Moving forward, what are some things that the team has been continuing to work on so that you can reach the goal of winning the championship, but continue the success that you guys have had so far?
It's just chemistry. We're constantly working on our chemistry. Like I said, we're all new, so sometimes it's like, you going, I'm going, but other than that, we have a sense of believing in each other, and we're together on this, and everybody has bought into the system, so we look really good.
And with the league, we've seen it all around on social media. The tunnel walk has been very popular, and everybody is enjoying it. For you, how is that, being able to express yourself through clothing and fashion, that you can do both? You can play and also do other things outside of the sport.
I use the walk as a platform in itself, just to show girls that you can have nails, you can have lashes, you can have the bundles and still be pretty and still play and still be a dog. I think the league has pivoted with that. More eyes come with Angel Reese, Dejanay Carrington, Nisa Morrow, girls like that, Rakia Jackson, girls like that. We're showing that you can still have femininity and still be a dog.
Well, Kalani Brown, thank you so much for joining us. It's you with me. Thank you.
The Mercury's overall record is 14-6, and they remain second in the Western Conference.
And they're back in action tonight, right, Eve?
Yep, they will face the Golden State Valkyries at 7 p.m.
While the Phoenix Mercury are continuing a successful season, the Phoenix Suns Summer League season has just begun, and head coach Damari Carroll is finding his voice this summer in the Valley. Carroll began his coaching career with the Milwaukee Bucks in 2022, now also the assistant coach for the Suns NBA team. Carroll's connection with the Suns' new head coach, Jordyn Tyson, was one of the many factors that helped him transition into the new role, crediting him for his coaching approach this season.
He's really helped me throughout my path, especially as a player and as a coach. He was actually my player development guy when I was in Brooklyn. He helped my career, extend my career a little bit longer, and in the coaching role, he's been remarkable, right? He's been giving me a lot of responsibility, helping me, coaching me through the computer stuff, all those types of things, the X's and O's. But he's been great, man. I consider him one of my best friends. So,
the Suns lost their game against the Hawks last night, falling 98-80. The Summer League team will play Minnesota next on Wednesday.
Turning now to the weather. It was a really hot weekend across the valley, but a cool down is headed our way.
Tony Gutierrez joins us now from the Cronkite Weather Center with what we can expect.
Tony Gutierrez here at the Cronkite Weather Center. Taking a look at our forecast for the evening. We're hovering at about 105, 106 right around now, and we're going to continue to go down to have a little bit of an Arizona cold front at 99 degrees. That's going to continue down to 86 this evening. We're looking at 88 up in the Colorado River Valley, 54 up in the Grand Canyon region, and we're going to go down to 68 in the southeast portion of the state. Looking at our highs tomorrow, we are still battling the Colorado River Valley for highest temps in the state. So far, they're beating us out at 111, 110. Up in the northern part of the state, we're in our 80s, 87 in Grand Canyon, 83 in Flagstaff. We're going to see 94 in the Red Rock Mountains area, and down to the 90s again in Tombstone, Douglas area. Take a look at our national weather. We can see some heavy rains hitting the Midwestern portion of the United States. And we can also take a look, if you look here, you'll see some activity forming down here on the Gulf of Mexico region, looking to hit that Gulf Coast area again. Looking at the rest of the week, our little cold front is going to continue, but make sure to leave those windows rolled up because we can expect some rain on Wednesday and Thursday. After that, we're going to go back to the triple-digit weather that we're used to, and that cloud cover next Tuesday will not give us much relief for the 107-degree temps we're expecting. From the Cronkite Weather Center, this is Tony Gutierrez. Back to you.
Coming up after the break, a look at the news headlines from around Arizona.
Including the race for a congressional seat left open by the late U.S. Representative Raul Grijalva. Plus, the historic Grand Canyon Lodge destroyed after a controlled fire gets out of control. The latest on the effort to contain it when we return.
This is where Cronkite can be creative.
I'm Nash Dara with a look at tonight's news headlines from across the state, and we begin with the Dragon Bravo fire, which has destroyed the world-famous Grand Canyon Lodge. The lodge seen here, before it was destroyed, was built in 1932 and served as a vacation spot for countless tourists over the years. The lodge burned along with dozens of other structures. The fire began as a controlled burn, but high winds helped it spread out of control. As of today, nearly 6,000 acres have burned. Governor Katie Hobbs has called for an investigation. Meanwhile, in a separate fire near the Grand Canyon's north rim, it has ballooned to nearly 50,000 acres. The White Sage Fire is burning in Jacob Lake. The lightning-caused fire started last week, prompting hundreds of evacuations. The fire is 0% contained. Tomorrow, Southern Arizona voters will decide major party nominees to face each other for the congressional seat left open by the death of Raul Grijalva. Grijalva's daughter, Adelita Grijalva, is currently leading the crowded Democratic primary with 43%. Her biggest threat in the five-candidate field is Deja Fox with 35%.
Government works best for the people when it's not getting dismantled from the inside. When we're talking about Medicaid, I think what we're losing sight of is the fact that so many services in our K-12 systems are provided to our young people through Medicaid.
I mean, to fight it, you have to know what it's like to be on the margins. To know what it feels like to barely make rent this month or have to calculate the cost of your grocery cart. Those are the people who feel Trump's tariffs the most.
Republican voters also select their candidates, choosing between Daniel Gutierrez, George Rivas, and Jimmy Rodriguez. Some area smoke shops may be intentionally pushing their products on kids, according to the Attorney General. Cronkite News reporter Eddie McCoven has reactions from other smoke shops who say that bad operators should be penalized.
The goal is not to sell this to children. I mean, that's just not what we're about. If someone is, I don't know what to say to that, but everyone that I know that is in this industry, they want to comply with the law.
And complying with the law is what they do at Bud's Glass Joint in downtown Phoenix. Co-owner Andrew Meister, who goes by Bud, says they've passed undercover inspections from the Arizona Attorney General's office, adding his staff checks IDs for all customers.
It's very easy. You just ask anyone who looks even remotely on the cusp of not being 35 or, older for their ID.
Attorney General Chris Mays recently announced civil suits against 4 smoke shops in the valley that were caught repeatedly selling tobacco products to people under 21. Isabella Gutierrez is one of 100 youth volunteers who take part in sting operations to see if stores are checking IDs.
They'll check knowingly, input the date of birth that is incorrect, like 1995 or something, even though it says on there my correct date of birth.
At a press conference, Mays took aim at the smoke shop industry, saying the sale of colorful and toy-like paraphernalia is directly targeted to children and illegal.
This stuff is clearly being marketed to our kids.
and that is against the law in the state of Arizona.
Meister has a few colorful items in his shop with some familiar characters.
So the Mario bongs are not for kids?
No, but I grew up playing Mario on Nintendo, and so I'm 44 years old, and that resonates with me as an adult. So it's nostalgia.
The Attorney General's office says 51% of Arizona high school students have tried vaping, and Phoenix Children's Hospital says 1 in 2 high schoolers have tried e-cigarettes. It's a trend that AG Mays hopes to curtail with the actions of her office. In downtown Phoenix, Eddie McCoven, Cronkite News.
In addition to monetary damages for violating the law, the Attorney General is also using the Arizona Consumer Fraud Act against the 4 smoke shops in an attempt to completely put them out of business. Attorney General Chris Mays is also suing the Trump administration over its move to freeze $132 million in money for Arizona students. Mays joins nearly 24 attorney generals from across the country that are suing the president's administration. The states allege the Department of Education unlawfully locked up funds that Congress set aside to help low-income and immigrant students. With the extreme heat rising, bees are becoming more aggressive. Recently, a swarm of bees left 1 Scottsdale man dead and 2 others injured. And now people are wondering, just how dangerous are bees? Our Kobe Mitchell has more.
In Arizona, there's over 1,300 species of bees, and for the most part, they're not super aggressive. So what did I have to do? Naturally, I had to go to a bee farm, put on a bee suit, and see how we can coexist with these creatures.
They're like, I'm not moving. Excuse me.
They may be small, but they can certainly be deadly. It's estimated that it would take 1,100 bee stings to kill an average adult. While experts say that kind of reaction is rare, for some, it can turn quickly.
Very few people in the grand scheme will have that anaphylactic reaction. But for those that do have that allergy, it is a very serious thing.
According to the CDC, between 2011 and 2021, on average, 72 people die per year in America from hornet, wasp, and bee stings. But more often than not, the danger starts when we panic, not when the bees do.
Usually if you see them and they're out and about, they're just out foraging. They don't deem that you're a threat unless you're trying to swat at them, step on them, things like that.
Now, amid the extreme Arizona heat, bees tend to get a little more aggressive. So what do beekeepers do all around the world? They get smoke and they blow it over them just like this to calm them down. Now, if you do find yourself in a situation where you have been stung by a bee, you need to calmly leave the area, pluck the stinger out, get some ice cold water to run over top of it, and if you need to, you can take some Benadryl as well. If you have trouble breathing or have any other health concerns, call 911. But long term, beekeepers who have education will prevent fear from taking over.
We're trying to introduce bees in a non-threatening way so that people aren't afraid of bees. We need bees for our future, and we want people to find some level of comfort with them.
Bees play a big role in our ecosystem, and with a little bit of caution, knowing how to respond can make all the difference. Connie also mentioned that if you have bees show up on your property, don't call an exterminator. What you need to do is you need to call a beekeeper so they can safely remove the bees from your property. In Phoenix, Kobe Mitchell, Cronkite News.
That's it for tonight's news headlines. I'm Nash Dara. Now back to me, Lexa and Patrick.
Coming up next, one Sierra Vista police officer has left his colleagues shell-shocked.
That's right, Milexa. A tiny tortoise has become the department's smallest officer. Bowser the tortoise is making a big impact on police morale and community relations in the southern Arizona town.
Officially became a member of the Sierra Vista Police Department and was issued badge number 643.
You meet so many new people who are on different communities. And when you do that, you're able to network not only, but also get to engage, talk to people, and make life friends.
I think that definitely surprised me, the community that I would find, because I wasn't really expecting it.
freedom.
Friendly. Nice. I'd say cozy.
This is where Cronkite can be creative.
The Sierra Vista Police Department's new special officer has come out of his shell. Bowser the Tortoise was found wandering the streets last year.
And no one ended up claiming him, so the department stepped up to adopt him.
During the summer, Bowser lives outside in the station's courtyard.
But when it gets cold, he's taken inside.
This hero in a half shell makes a big impact, says Police Chief Christopher Heiser. The chief encourages officers to take a break and feed Bowser.
And the turtle also helps with education. His next campaign is to remind drivers to slow down in school zones.
That's it for tonight's edition of Cronkite News. I'm Milexa Cardona.
And I'm Patrick Renault. Thank you for joining us. And to see top Arizona stories anytime, log on to cronkitenews.azpbs.org.